Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday Live. My name is Ashley Hay. I'm an artist and also the importer of Powertex for Australia. So today marks the beginning of our spring journal series. So it's going to be a bit of fun, and I'm going to share a couple of ideas with you on how you can get started with some journaling. And of course, we're going to still feature some of the beautiful art supplies from Powertex. So today we're going to be using some of the Decoupage mediums, so Easy Coat Glossy or Easy Coat Matte, and I'm going to be showcasing how you can use napkins and decoupage those, and we're going to talk about harmonious colour. So of course, if you are here, please drop a line and let me know that you're watching. Say hey, let me know where you're from, and hopefully you have a journal all ready to go so that this weekend you can start doing some springtime journaling. Or if you are in the Northern Hemisphere and you are heading towards winter and you're in autumn, then you might like to do an autumn series. So whatever season you're in or find yourself, let's get inspired with a bit of springtime fever and have a bit of a play. So let's, without any further ado, take a look down to the art table. And I'll just show you what I've got on the go here. So I have got a little pack that I have put together, and I will be creating a little bit of a kit for those who do live in Australia. I thought I'd include some Powertex transparent 500 grams, some power wax, and also the decoupage glue, which of course is the Easy Coat Glossy, and also this little pack of stuff so that you can have a play. So I will be putting that up in the next week or so, and so that will be available on the website if you would like to follow along with this and use the papers. But of course, if you haven't got this and you've got some art supplies and you love your Powertex and you've got some decoupage glue, then you can play along, use any papers you like, and let's get cracking. So the Easy Coat Glossy and Matte is just absolutely brilliant for decoupage. It is actually a decoupage glue, although I use it for so much more. It is really, really handy to have in your stash of stuff. So I thought today I would also talk to you about harmonious colour, and I'll just swing onto the art table here. Okay, so I thought today I'd talk to you about harmonious colour as well as, you know, what we're sort of going to do in terms of laying down some papers. So this is just a starting point. It's a really great little trick to just get started with having a bit of a play in your journal. Okay, so I've showed you the pack. Now, what you will find is with your napkins that they actually have got, let me just grab one here that maybe hasn't, I've started tearing some of them apart. So if you have a look at this one, you can see it's actually quite thick, and it has got paper on the back of it. So this one here, I have already stripped the paper off, so you can see it's super thin and really, really translucent. And this is really, really a nice thing to do. So we've got that. Now, I'll show you how to get that paper off. It is a little bit of a trick. So you just have to kind of work the corners until, or the edges along the paper until you get a little bit of a start. And so you can see I've got a start here. And even though it looks like it's not going to separate, you can tell that it actually has the paper on the back because it is so thick. So look at that. It just comes away once you get that start, and you've got a really lovely thin piece of paper, As well as that, you've also got another lovely piece of paper that you can actually do something else with. So that is now ready to decoupage. So is this one. And so you can see with the colour choices that you've got here, that these two are actually working quite well together. So it's actually got the same background. So even though it is a different napkin, it has the same sort of colours, and you can see that they are working together. So what are harmonious colours and why are they important when you're creating your artwork? So what you want to do is you want to have some cohesiveness in your artwork. You don't want it to be too abruptly different in terms of the colour. So I've got a little colour wheel here, and I thought I'd just talk a little bit about harmonious colour because it is so important to have some understanding of colour when you are working with colour, and then you can make more deliberate choices and you can sort of work out why things aren't working if you have an idea of what you're doing. So all the colours that are next to each other on the colour wheel are all harmonious. So if we take a look at the red violet through the reds and the red oranges right to the yellow orange, you can see that they are really working really nicely together. So they harmonise with your eye, if you like, and you can see that as you go around the colour wheel, whatever sort of angle that you take on that colour wheel, all of those colours that are side by side are actually working really well together. So that is a harmonious colour, is where they're side by side on the colour wheel. The other thing that is a consideration is if blue is my primary colour that I'm working with, then on the colour wheel, if I go to blue, let's see. Okay, you can see blue here. See this arrow here? I'll just hold it up a little bit closer. So you can see this says complementary. So the complementary colour to blue on the colour wheel is orange. The complementary colour to red on the colour wheel is green. These are quite a nice handy little tool. So red to green, and then your purple to your yellow. So even if you remember those complementary pairs, that is really handy. But a harmonious colour, you can still add in like your reds, yellows and blues, and actually having a bit of each colour is actually again going to just create beautiful colour combinations that are going to work well together. So if we have a look at this one, this is yellow adding red, of course, makes orange. The yellow green, so if we've got yellow, we've got blue here, we're mixing our green, and then between green and yellow, we've got a yellow green, and between blue and green, we've got a blue green. So if we add yellow to our yellow green, it's going to get lighter, and you can see it is a more limey colour. Adding red to your yellow, of course, is going to get orange, and then you're working with your complementary colours. So you've got a little bit of orange in with your blue, and then adding blue to your green, you're going to get a bluey green. Adding white to your blue green, you're going to get a lighter value. So you're going to, get a lighter tint there when you're adding that. And then if you add black to your colour, of course, it is going to darken it down. So you can see we're still working with the colours on here. If we take a look at this, I had it all set before. to a few colours. Let me just see. Da-da-da. Okay, so if we go to our violets, we've got this sort of lighter pink, this red-orange, which is going towards a pink. And we've got red where if we add the blue to it, it goes like a purpley colour. Just trying to find, there it is. Okay, this combination, you can see that this is similar. So it's in the blue to sort of red range, but adding some yellow into it to get the greens. So we've got really some beautiful green colours. And you can see that this tone here is quite similar to, I'll just lift it up so you can see. So you can see that that is a really good general green. If we added white to that, it would give us this sort of green. And so it has got this bluey violet sort of haze. And then, of course, you've got this pinky purpley colour, which you can see is actually in here. And there is a pop of red, which isn't actually in this. But if you put a pop of red in and you haven't got your blues. So really this one is working with your greens, adding black to it and adding white to it to change the tone of the green to these lighter colours or these darker black greens. And then we've got the pinks and the reds working together again with our tints, adding white into that and getting that warmth in there. So if we move it around slightly, you can see that we've got the violet and it's got yellow added to it. And this is quite similar to this sort of colour that is here. And this pink that is in here now is very, very similar to this. And the only thing that's missing is that green colour. So it's still working in these, in the harmonised colours. And it is going to take you a little bit of a while to sort of get the hang of this. But essentially what you want is when you're harmonising colours, you want to take a little bit of every colour. So a little bit of your blue, red and yellow. And of course you need to avoid mixing mud. But it is a really good way of bringing all those colours into harmony. And really when you are colour mixing, if you understand that, then you will have a lot more success. So if we take a look at this one, essentially you've got your greens and primarily it is green and brown, and then you've got this little pop of pink, pinky red violets. And so this orange, pinky red violet colour or colours are actually going to slightly contrast. So you can see that without these pinks and violets, that it would just be all green. And so it's actually using that idea of the complementary colour on the colour wheel as well, so that you get a high contrast and it is just picking up some of those colours. So predominantly this one feels green. And you can see that this one has the similar colours in it. So it's got your violets and your blues. So if we take a look at that, you can see it's got a lighter, it's got white added into this blue, violet and yellow mix. And then you can see that it's clearly got some of these relationships in the colours that are actually in here. So, and you can see how that is working really well with this one because it has actually got the same background. So if we take a look at another one, so I have got a second pack, and this one is an owl pack. He's rather cute. And again, you have your paper and you want to strip the back of that paper. So you're taking that paper backing off and you get that beautiful translucency on your papers. So I'm just going to cut that one in half there where it's actually folded. Well, that's not a very good cut. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be exact. And I've got those. Okay. So I can also actually cut out, you know, the actual image from the napkin, which is what I've done in this instance. Then I can play with the backgrounds in behind there and put different things. So that gives me an opportunity to actually lay down some colour or work on the plain paper and then take it back. I have put gesso on this. I've got this beautiful, beautiful sketchbook. So I'd love to know what sketchbooks you guys have all found. But this is just lovely. It's got really gorgeous, raggy, thick paper in here. And I just thought it would be perfect, a perfect opportunity to make a start in this one. So that's our owl one. And again, another paper that is actually in here is this paper. And you can see again how the colours actually are similar to the colours that are in the owl one. So if we take a look at that, you can see it's picking up the pinks and the purples and the reds. And then, of course, your complementary colour in this one where it's just got a small pop of colour, which actually brings all your reds, purples and pinks out to play, is your green. So your green is actually complementary to your red, and that is just popping out all these little bits of colour. Where you've got this blue, there's actually a little bit of orange in here. So, of course, before we talked about orange being the complementary colour to blue, and so when you use a complementary colour, it actually really pings the colour that is next to it, and it is a very high contrast. So if we look at this one, you can see that everything is flowing really nicely. So it feels harmonious, it looks harmonious, and it's pleasant to the eye. So you've got a lot of contrast, you've got your darks, you've got your lights coming through, and then you've got your purples, your blues, your red violets that have your whites added into them and your blacks added into them, and it doesn't go as far as the red. So it's more in this colour range, and a little bit of green contrasting with this. So you've got your red violet, you add your yellow, you've got your blue violet and you add yellow to that and you get this lovely green. So you're working within this harmonious colour range and playing with putting the complementary colour into the mix. So I hope that makes sense. Please drop your questions into the comments if you have any questions. And really it is just familiarising yourself with all of this and sort of getting used to it. So I'm going to show you just how we can decoupage some of these papers down, and then next week I'm actually going to show you how you can transfer some of your drawings across. So I'm going to take this one and we'll work with this one, and see how nice that is, just on, you know, a normal sort of background. I could cut out other elements from this and I could actually paste and move those around. So I could put some music sheets down. I could put some different images in behind there. So what I thought I'd show you, just going to take this one. I'll take this one. So this is just a really good way to kind of start. So if you're stuck for ideas, have a look at some nice napkins that you might have in your stash, some nice papers that are actually there, and see what feels right to you. Okay, where shall we go with this? I could take it over this side. All right, so I'm actually really liking this, but I feel like it needs something in the background. Just having a look in my stash here of what I've got. Okay, all right, so I've got some musical notes, I've got some sort of writing sort of stuff. The musical notes, these are sort of more, they're softer colours that might work really nicely with this. Let's pop him on some of this so we can just kind of lay some of this out. Okay, so I think we'll go with the lighter papers because he does contrast nicely against the lighter papers. And then with this one, I might actually go some of the darker, silkier colours. So yeah. All right, let's get cracking and get some papers down. Have a bit of a play. I'm just going to take some of this and we're going to pop, I'll pop some of that down there. And of course I need my Easy Coat Glossy or I need my Easy Coat Matte. So either of those. Your matte is obviously what it says. It is more matte. Your Easy Coat Glossy is more glossy and tends to resist your layers. So I'm going to use the Glossy clear some of these papers. Make a little bit of a leeway here. Lost my bird. So, there we go. There's one bird. Where's my other little birdie gone? The one that was cut out. There he is. Okay. So let's do this. Feel like I need a bit more space. So anyway, let's try and do it like this. Easy Coat Glossy. Pop that down on this surface here. Then I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to spray mist it with some water. And then I'm just going to take that and lay it down onto that glossy. And I'm actually going to take glossy on the top of it. Now, I am not fabulous at decoupage. I don't profess to be fabulous at that. Crafters actually do amazing decoupage and get their papers down really beautifully. But that trick of spray misting your paper is actually a cracker, and it just works really, really well. Just put a little bit more under there. And you can see, I think I've got a couple of air bubbles under here where it hasn't. Oh, don't you hate that? Hasn't got enough of the medium underneath. Okay. So you really want that medium to be on the whole paper really nicely, and then that way you get that sort of spreading everywhere. So your paper does tend to be quite absorbent, so you do want to work quite quickly. Just pushing down these areas where it's got a little bit of bubbly. Okay, that looks much better. Now, if I wanted to, I could also stain the paper beforehand. I kind of did like that. It's just all a bit too much though. You can tell when I go into creative mode because I stop talking. Just going to move it across a little bit. It's better. Go. Change my mind about 5 times then. And I think there was a little bit more of that. Got lovely hair on there. So what I love about this is you start to see the layers actually coming through from underneath. I can always trim this up later. So when it's dry, I can trim up anything that is going over the edges. But don't you just love how that is actually so beautiful and translucent. Oops, what have I done to him? He has... There we go. That's it. Lie him down nice and flat. And I'm just going to pop another little bit of this stuff over in this corner here, like this. These some of these are actually the silk papers from Powertex, which are just absolutely gorgeous. So if you haven't tried those yet, they are really, really lovely, and you can see how they go translucent, and you can see those actual layers coming through. Oh my goodness, can't you just play? Play, 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 play. Okay, so we'll put that down there. Spray it with some water on the back. I'll put a little bit more of that down. Put that on there. And I just want a little bit of this original paper, and I know there was some. I am just going through all this paper that I've tossed off to the side here. I can't see it quickly, so, oh, there it is. There we go. So we'll pop that one in there somewhere. Let's have a look. I think we'll just go something like that. So we'll just chop that one off there. Spray mist that on the back. Okay, now we've got a lovely base layer that we can just keep layering up, but you know, I could actually put my bird on there and it will be quite nice and subtle. So let's do that, shall we? I'll just pop this, all of this paper away. Just sort of thinking about the owls as well, you know. Okay. Pop him upside down there. Pop some more of this on. Not entirely sure where I'm going to put him. Be very, very gentle with your napkin paper because it probably doesn't actually even need to be sprayed in actual fact. Because I think with the napkin art, the layers are just so thin by the time you've taken that paper backing off that you really don't need to put that paper on. So look at that. Doesn't he look gorgeous? And so, you know, creating an interesting background first. So whether it's layers of color or, you know, layers of napkins. So over this side here, I could actually pop a little bit of this down. Might as well put it straight on there. So I don't mind that that's sort of folded over a little bit there. That bit here underneath is dried. The decoupage glue should go through the paper a little bit as well, because like I say, it is so thin. Okay. No, still didn't make it quite short enough. There we go. Need a little bit more, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So you can see this is a lot of fun, layering and playing with those layers. And like I say, with the thicker silk papers, it is really quite lovely to wet the back of them, and you can see how translucent they go when you actually put them onto your piece. Another bit of this. Now, of course, if I have papers that I've actually printed, you know, that is also really nice to use. So if you've done some jelly plate printing, you can actually also, you know, add any papers in that you have got that you've used for that. Now, you can see that this one doesn't really go with those flowers. So I'll probably just use this as a little bit of a background to, should have put that underneath, because if I put something like this underneath, then you would actually have the translucency of that layer. Let's see if we can do it so that, see if I can lift this a bit carefully. Just spray the back of this because it is very dry. So here you can see how having that paper underneath, you know, then it just really, you can see the difference. So this here doesn't look as nice as where you've actually got that paper going over the top in a bit of a layer. What else have I got here? There we go, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So this is where it's really quite a lot of fun, because you can see how all those layers are actually coming through each other, and that is really where it works so well. So look at him. He is looking gorgeous. I can keep adding, I could add another bird in there. This one here, the flower is very central, so I would probably be playing around with that a little more, and you know, just really knocking that back a bit so that it's not quite so centralized there. And just breaking up that image a little bit, so it's a little bit more random. So you can still see it's a flower and butterflies, but it's just a little bit more interesting, I guess. Got this little bit of torn paper here. Might just pop that on here because I can. Get it to lie flat. Okay, so there we have it. This one just needs a little bit of a feature image. I could try putting on something like this, and the flower will come through a little bit. Shall we try it? Let's just go for it and see what happens, right? At the end of the day, the flower's not that great that it's going to matter too much. So this is where, you know, you just want to go, you know what, I'm just going to try it regardless. And I'm just going to dampen that down a little bit just so that it really just want to get that in the right place. So we should get those layers of colour coming through from underneath. Yes, we are getting that, which is just gorgeous. The bird's not standing out so much, but he is there. And so that's where in my next layer, I could actually play with the wax and different things. So you can see that is super busy now, but I can just keep layering that up. I could do a few more of these silky paper layers over some of this, but I can even take some color back into here with the wax and get it really, really kind of atmospheric. So there you go, a little bit of paper play this week. I love this one. That's my fave. And sometimes simplicity is really good. I'll see if I can get this one in the picture so you can see how all of those layers are actually coming through. It is quite busy behind the bird here, so he does need some contrast. So he needs something that is just going to pop him out a little bit and differentiate him from some of those background areas. So whether it's more of this silk paper, I would definitely look at putting some words down here, maybe a bit of music in somewhere, and I could actually cut those edges. So I hope you've had fun with me, and you know, that you've really enjoyed that today. And I look forward to seeing what you create this weekend. And please share your journal with us. I'll just zoom you back here so that you can see the art table and me. And please drop into the comments or any questions that you do have, but just play with some papers. Pull out some of your jelly plate papers, have a look at what springtime napkins you've got, and you can see just how beautiful napkins can actually be to decoupage. Some of these are the silk papers from Powertex, which are just really, really gorgeous as well. So there's a mechanical one, there's a postcards one, and there is also a Japanese handwriting, an ancient handwriting. And did I say that there's angels? So the angels would, of course, be gorgeous for a Christmas themed journal page. So there we have it. Be sure to join me again next week. So next week I will be doing part 2 of journaling, and I'll be showing you how you can actually take your drawings or take other images and you can transfer them onto your artwork. And so, of course, then the week after that, we'll play back into some of these papers with some beautiful power wax and acrylic paints to actually create some really beautiful translucent layers and create some contrast in those. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for Friday Live. Please do connect, create and share with us on the Powertex Australia Creative Hub. It's a really wonderful group to be part of, and I love to see what you all create as a result of Friday Live, because of course I am here to inspire you. So I hope you've enjoyed that today, and you can actually subscribe on the YouTube channel. That way you will get notifications each week when Friday Live is about to start, and you'll remember to join, or you can binge watch some of the previous things on Friday Live. So of course, if you would also like some of these papers, like some Powertex art supplies, you can shop Powertex at the website in Australia if you're here in Australia, or if you're in another country around the world, just find the supplier near you. And of course, you can get some of these bits and pieces from your local trainer as well. So let's have a wonderful creative weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you are watching in replay, thank you for watching in replay, and just make a comment as well. Let me know you've been watching, and let me know what you tried. All right, everyone. So ciao for now. Have a wonderful creative weekend. Bye.